What's up, people? This is just a gentle and friendly reminder that there is a lot of evidence, and just a warning, this is a video that a lot of people will have a lot of resistance to. You might be clinging to old beliefs, or you might have found some evidence of your own to support your stand. I'm not sharing it out of any sort of personal argument or morals or anything like that, but there's a lot of evidence out there that suggests that we have the system of an herbivore. We are meant to eat vegetarian, eat vegan, and our body functions at its best when you eat veggies, when you eat plant-based foods that are alive and give you life energy. If you're eating things that are dead and expect to be alive, a lot of work has to be done. You're trying to raise the dead. Some of the evidence that I'll be sharing you can find online. Sadhguru has a great video explaining this. It's part of inner engineering, but there's some that you can find on YouTube too, explaining some of these points. One of the main ones is that carnivores in nature, there's carnivores and herbivores in nature, and there's also omnivores, which obviously you could argue that we're omnivore because we can eat meat and survive, but only with a lot of friction and problems. I'll come to that. Carnivores have sharp teeth, incisors, and canines to cut the meat, just chopping action. And we don't have that. We have we basically have teeth that look like deer teeth. And so, also, carnivores have chopping action of their jaw. And herbivores have chopping and grinding action. And which one do you have? You have both, right? You can chop and grind, which suggests that we're supposed to chew our food. Carnivores don't really chew their food. They cut the meat, gobble it up, because their digestive tract is made in such a way to handle that. And so we're supposed to chew our food. And why we're supposed to chew our food is because we produce an enzyme in our saliva called taurine, and it starts the digestive system in your mouth. The digestive process starts in your mouth. And if you chew your food good enough, 50% of the digestive process should happen there in your mouth. And you can witness this by just putting rice in your mouth and it turns to sugar because it breaks it down in your mouth. Carnivores do not have that because there's no need. They have smaller intestine tracts, so the meat passes through quickly. We, along with having taurine in our spit and cutting and grinding action, have a longer intestinal tract. Our intestines are longer than carnivores. Now, since we have longer intestines, if you eat, and the times may vary, but it goes something like this. If you eat fruit, raw veggies, it'll pass through the system in only an hour or 2 hours. If you eat cooked veggies, up to 8 hours, 10 hours. If you eat cooked meat, it will take something between 24 hours to 50 hours to pass through the system. And if you eat raw meat, it'll take somewhere from there to 90 hours to pass through the system. And even some cooked meats take that long as well. If you leave meat out on a hot summer day for 40 plus hours, it'll be covered in bacteria and all sorts of stuff. Well, it's not winter time inside your body. It's always summer here. So with our long intestines and our long digestive tract, if you put meat in there, you're causing unnecessary bacteria in the system. This is why most Americans probably sleep 8 hours, because they need more rest, because their system, when they're awake, is working so hard to break down that food and you're causing unnecessary stress in the body. Most ailments I see probably are caused by, but at least are not helped by, eating meat. And along with so many, I guess, intangible benefits to eating vegetarian, like higher energy levels, a purer system, and like I mentioned earlier, you're eating food that's alive. Even if you eat meat, a good thing to do, Sadhguru says, is to eat meats, animals that are farthest away from you on the evolutionary scale. Because this human system is so complex, it has thought and emotion. And when you're eating a mammal, and mammals especially, it has thought and emotion, and you're taking that in and trying to ingest it and integrate it as a part of yourself. Not an easy process. It takes a lot of energy, lots of friction, lots of struggle, unnecessarily too. So if you do eat meat, they say it's best, especially in the East, they say it's best to eat meat that's farthest away from you on the evolutionary scale, like fish or seafood or something like that. So yeah, those are the things that I've found, and it's just a friendly reminder. I'm not hating on anybody who eats meat. I don't see it as a moral thing, although there are added benefits along with higher energy levels, purifying your system, and more life energy. You are helping the environment, because the rainforest is getting cut down, and many other horrible things, that's the big one though, are being done to make room for cattle and animals that feed our mouths and taste buds and traditions, mostly, which is killing the planet, because one of the main causes of greenhouse gases is and pollution is the cow farts and the space that it takes for them to live and feed us. Not to mention the cruelty that's entered the meat industry. So just try and keep these things in mind. You don't have to be harsh on yourself. Harshness keeps you immobilized. The best way to break a habit is to find a painless way to do it, because and that takes a lot of introspection, contemplation, but just keep that in mind. You don't have to be harsh with yourself as you move towards your new life, as you create your new world. You are a choice-making individual, and how you process life is how your life is. So just do your own research. You know, there's a lot of evidence out there, but those are some of the points that I wanted to make, that that nature suggests that we have an herbivore system. And personally, I've experienced other intangible benefits from eating food that still has life force in it. I'm not suggesting to eat a live animal. I'm suggesting to eat a simple form of life, which is plants and fruits. And eating that, taking that life energy in, a life energy that hasn't created its own karma, that hasn't produced its own thought and emotion, taking that and integrating it, making it a part of your system, is a lot easier of a process for our systems to do. Doesn't cause unnecessary stress, and frees you from the bonds of karma slowly, and helps you create less of it. So lots of love. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.